I'm going to walk you through a very rough demonstration of the Planning Grants and Research GMS application. This is as it stands today. The code base hasn't been changed. It's just running on a test system with a fresh database with absolutely no data in it. So the first thing we'll need to do is create a user so that we can log on to this system. And this is the process that public users or the public at large would use to create users to gain access to the system. Once my user is created, I'm taken to my home page where I would see any of my projects or grant applications. My user account menu allows me to change my password or personal information, along with any agency assignments, which of course at this point are none. The Documents menu allows me to look at documents uploaded by a Planning Grants and Research Administrator. You'll notice that this list is hard-coded since, again, we're running on a clean database. So this may be a good candidate for putting this information into a database table so it's a little bit more dynamic. Although, as we'll see a little bit later, some of these items, like acceptance and assurance documents, are expected to exist in the system. So we might not be able to completely do away with some of these items. Okay, let's go ahead and create ourselves a new user. This user, I'll call it an admin because I will give him grant management privileges. You'll notice that I have to use a different email every time since the system will forbid you from using the same email. That email is a unique identifier for each user. Okay, so now I'm logged in as the admin, but I'm just a user at this point. And in fact, the first admin needs to be created on the database level since there's a way within the system to specify an admin initially. And admins can specify other admins. But initially I'll have to look in the database and see that the admin user is keyed by the primary key number 2. I'll go into the account role, create a new entry for that user, giving it a type of P for PG&R, commit that data, and log out and log back in as an admin. Now the system recognizes me as an administrator, and I've got many more menu items. My account menu item is similar to what we saw as a basic user. The user menu item allows me to find users defined in the system. You'll notice when you select a user, that menu changes. The options change so that you can perform actions against that user. You could lock that user's account, change the user's roles. This is where you can specify this user at a Planning Grants and Research staff member, just as I am, or a council member, able to log on and then evaluate continuation applications or grant proposal applications. The agency menu allows you to create agencies implementing an applicant. RFP stands for Request for Proposal, allows you to create these requests for proposals that go out and allow users to create grant applications against RFPs. And here's where you'd look up submitted and awarded GPAs. The project menu allows you to find a project, and also this quick find feature is the same thing, or create a new project. Before we had the RFP and the GPA features, which are relatively new, Planning Grants and Research here at ISP would begin the process of a grant project by allowing the public to send in their grant proposal applications via snail mail, and then they would evaluate and award that in-house, and then once the project was ready to move forward, they would come into the system and create the project here. So there's kind of two different ways to attack the creation of a project. One is to create the project here under the projects menu, and the other is to completely do away with any of the paper and pen process and open this up for the public to apply for a grant online and have that grant approved through GMS and then converted from a GPA into a project. And we'll see all that a little bit later. The continuations menu allows you to manage the availability of continuations for specific projects or the funding sources associated with those projects. And this will add new cycles, project cycles, to projects, existing projects. The Master Grants category allows you to create new categories and funding for RFPs. The queues menu shows the work queue and the Navision queue. The work queue is items that are requiring action from grant management staff members to approve reports, for example. And the Navision queue will document those reports or items that can be exported into Navision. Messages allows PG&R staff to write messages available to different users once they log in. You can make a message available to all users, or you could say only council members or only those users associated to a project, or you can drill down and find specific users. So for example, this message, hello all, is available to all GMS users. So if I log out and log back on as the user Bryce, I'll see that message here on the right hand side of my home screen. The reports menu has some of the canned reports in the application. The only one that we have here is the council meeting continuation report. Documents menu, as we mentioned, is available for users to see and allows administrators to upload documents, electronic documents, usually PDFs, for use throughout the system.